How to Build a Large Cape Dutch House from the series Scenes of the Cape by Lonwaba MRS. This kit is available from the hobby shop in Cape Town. As with all Lonwaba kits, it's useful first to lay out all the parts just to familiarize yourself what they all look like. So, as with all of these Lonwaba kits that we're doing now, let's first start off with the corner triangles. These are great to have to help you line up the walls to make it nice and square at the end. So just first stick those guys in. The lines are scribed out on the floor of the house, and then when you get those nicely lined up like that, it will make it so much easier to square up the walls later on. So once all the little corner pieces are in, we can now start on the walls. So let's put a little bit of glue down. I'll do the front wall here, and then just literally line it up to the scribe block like such. There we go. Support it a little bit on both sides. There we go. Like that, just tap it down, and in a few seconds that should be nice and dry. And we can do the same to the back wall. We can just, there we go, it's going to go like so. Put a bit of glue along the wall. And then just hold it in place. There we go, like such. And we can do that to all the outside walls. So when all the walls are done, it'll look something like this. There we go. Let's let it dry, and then it'll have all the walls complete. There we go. And then don't be afraid to stick extra glue around by the joints. This will just make sure that it'll give it a lot of strength for a long time to come. This allows you to handle it a bit more rough. There we go. So glue around all the joints, all the corners like that, and then let that dry. Okay, so now the patio area can be put next. It'll be something looking like this. So how this works is you just stick it on the base plate already. Stick some glue around on the corners. There we go, like that, and then it'll fit nicely in place like such. There we go, and just hold that down, and then there we've got our patio, a stoep area ready. And then to make the walls thicker, these three walls here, they are cutouts. All we have to do is we have to stick these on the inside of the walls like that. One will go there, and then this one will move in on the edges like such, and then that will just allow this to be a much thicker wall. There we go, something like that. You can see over there, it makes it nice and thick. So I just glue those then into place. The front one has the door already scribed in it, and then we can just glue that nicely in place like that. So do that on three of the walls. So once we've stuck the walls, made them a bit thicker by sticking the inserts on the inside, find these three little edges, and we're going to put these on the outside to make the wall even thicker, which will bring it more to scale. So these will then just glue on the front, the outside wall, like that, and then do that to the same three walls, glue these little pieces on. So now you've put the outside little edges on the walls there to make them nice and thick. You can see how nice and thick the walls are now that will stick out above the roof. So there we go, let that all set and dry nicely. At this stage I'd probably recommend that you do some of the painting now, especially the stoep area, because when we close it in with the columns and the pergolas, it's going to make it quite difficult to get into this area and onto the wall and that then. So now would be a good time to actually paint the basic wall of the structure. Here are the painted windows and doors in the traditional green and white. And yeah, I've painted the strip in more of a terracotta kind of finish. So now putting the windows in and the doors, is the windows have a top and a bottom. The bottom lines up with the base of the floor, so it's very easy to put the windows in. You just have to push them all the way down, rest them at the bottom, and that'll align the windows up like such. So you just have to go to the front. You can just square them out a bit. And do that with all of them. The columns have quite a few parts, so find all of these parts and get them all ready, as we'll be using these over the next few minutes. So what we have to do now for the columns is you need to find these pieces. So for each column you need two of these pieces and one of these like this. And what we have to do is we have to glue them all together. So I put these two together. You can see a little groove at the top like that. And then effectively this is going to go at the back of this column piece like this. And then the other piece is going to go in the front like this, and then that will give the column its total width, which is the correct scaled width of the column. And then at the top it looks like that, with the two grooves in the top like that. And then these flat pieces, the thinner ones, the thin flat pieces like this, will eventually then go across in those grooves like that, and then that will form the part of the strip area. So all of these 8 columns, each one needs to be done like this first. Each of the 8 columns consists of these 8 parts. The 5 on the left make up the base of the columns first, and then around this base of the column you'll be sticking those little rectangles, but you need to get the picture frame on first, as you won't be able to get it on later. So we've got something looking like this at the moment. So what we need to do now is put the front pieces on the bottom of the columns over here. So just a bit of glue along here, and then take the square little pieces like this, and then place them on, and push that bit down to the base, and then we have something like that. So take the square piece, put it on, push the top detail down that. It should all fit in snug. And then the next one like that, and do that on this front side of and then you repeat the same on the back. So put it on like that, there we go, and then turn it over and repeat. And when that's done, you should be able to dry clip it in onto the building like that. It should fit into the holes made on the tiled area of the strip like that, and it just push in quite comfortably like that. So now that I've put the columns in place there, we just need the cross pieces to go in, these little square ones here. So I just put a bit of glue on the ends like this, and then stick them in the hole and in the groove of the column like such, and then there you go. So I do that for all 8 of the columns. Okay, let's make a start on the roof. So what we do is we take the roof and you just bend it. It's already scribed along the center there. Just bend it a little bit like that, evenly across. And then you've got these 4 supports that we're going to glue along the inside to help give strength to the roof. There we go. See the inside supports on the roof. Once you've got the roofs, find this scribed card or thin paper that's in the kit and cut the lengths to fit the top of the roofs. So now we've done the front area, the whole porch area. Got the columns in, filled in with a bit of a Tamiya putty, some of the gaps, and it's looking okay. The roof we made earlier on, I've painted my roof. I've chosen to go for this Tamiya and NATO black. I think that black is a bit harsh normally, so it's a bit too strong. So I think this is a nice compromise for the roof. And obviously the roof, the natural color of the roof is the sandy color. Once it's been laser cut, that's quite a close color to what original thatch would have been, fresh thatch anyway. So black thatch is only a thatch that's got old already. So we can put the roof in. There we go, the main roof in. Let's do this piece. Should all fit in nicely. Let's hold it down for a second. There we go. So once the roof is on, the last thing to do is just around the trim, the edge of the roof. The thatch is quite thick, so there are these little thin little strips that you paint first, and then stick them all around the edge underneath, like so. And there you can see how they fit in underneath and along the front here, and of course across the front underneath the roof. Everywhere where the roof hangs over a bit, put a little thin little strip like this piece over here, and then we're pretty much there. Once it's all done, you can see, there we go. Cape Dutch house. Put a bit of vines up on the columns just to give it a bit of character, and then it'll fit in nicely. So the last thing to do is to make the chimney. It's got 4 little walls in the chimney, a bit that goes along the top. Quite straightforward. Put the sides together. There are little squares to put on the inside of the chimney to make it just a little bit easier to hold together, to make it square. There we go.